Hey everyone! I'm going to do something a little bit different than I usually do, and today I'm going to be doing a talking video. Today we're going to be doing a little lesson on beginner-friendly brows. So if you're interested in learning maybe some new tips and tricks or how to perfect your craft when doing your eyebrows, stick around. First of all, I'm going to let you know what we'll be using. So for today I'm going to be using an eyebrow pencil and eyebrow gel. So if you're wanting to follow along, or if you're just wanting to watch and try things out later, you're free to do that. I'm going to be using the Precisely My Brow in number 2. It's more of a golden blonde. And then I'm also going to use the 24-hour brow setter as my eyebrow gel today. But you can use any eyebrow gel, any eyebrow pencil that you have on hand, and let's hop into it. So first things first, I'm going to talk about the shape of your brows. This is just a lesson on how to perfect your own natural brows, not how to block out your brows and create a whole new shape. This is going to be going with your natural, what you have, and just perfecting your natural beauty. What we're taught as makeup artists is to start your eyebrows, like take a pencil, your eyebrow pencil, and hold it along your nostril, and it should line up with the inside corner of your eye. And this is where your eyebrow should be starting. If you go any further this direction, it's going to create a sense of width, a sense of width in your nose, which is maybe not the look we're going for. And if you go any further this way, it's going to make you look a little too severe, as if you're angry all the time, anger eyebrows. So this is where your eyebrows ought to start. And then as far as grooming them, just clean up with tweezers or wax, or your preferred method of doing your brows, whether you get them threaded or waxed or tweeze them yourself. I would just clean up in between and just leave everything else alone. And as far as grooming underneath your brows, I wouldn't touch your upper portion here, just because that can get a little dicey if you're doing it yourself. If you're having a professional do it, they usually have a really good eye for where to take off on the top and what to leave. But as far as doing it at home, I would just clean up underneath and just leave this for now, unless you get it professionally done, and then they might thread up here or wax up here and clean that up for you. I would start them right here, and then where your arch should start, you line it up with the tip of your nostril, line up your pencil, and it should correspond with where your eyeball is, and your arch should be starting right about there. Now I have quite a natural, intense arch. You might have eyebrows that grow in more of a delicate slope, and that's perfectly fine. So then you would just start thinning out your brow towards the tail at this point. I wouldn't take it up high there, because you want to go with what you're naturally born with. You want to just highlight your natural beauty, and if yours are a gentle sloped eyebrow, just go with that and just start thinning at this point along, just to kind of highlight that brow bone area. And then if you have more of a severe arch like I do, then your arch should end, if I'm doing this properly here so you can see, line up from the tip of your nostril to the outside of your eye, and that's where your arch should be ending. So then you come here, it starts here for me and it ends right here. And then for the tail of your eyebrow, take from your nose, you're at the edge of your nostril, and line it up here. And this is where you should probably go no further than this. And then I will gently bring my tail down to about there. And I like to do a very natural brow that's quite feathery in the front, with natural hair-like strokes, elongating along here, and then long, thin tail at the back. So going with your natural shape, I'll show you how I achieve that on mine, and you can follow along as you like. So taking your eyebrow pencil of choice, start tracing along the bottom of where your eyebrow hairs start at the front, and go in gentle hair-like strokes, very fine, not one long stroke, because that doesn't quite look natural. And then when you get to about here, just kind of stop And then repeat the process on the top, just so that you can get a general shape. Gentle hair-like strokes, just tracing along the outline of your eyebrow. And then when you get to there, stop. And then I like to go down. These can be a little bit longer in length. Gentle hand on these as well. Don't press too hard, just kind of feathering. Your pencil should be depositing color so that you can kind of start getting an outline there. And I'm going to teach you a trick that I learned from a professional makeup artist named Hung Van Gogh. I used to always draw in my hairs, fill in the brows going this direction, but he actually starts here and he works backwards, and it's a beautiful natural look, and it fills in this area without any intense marks. It just looks beautiful when you're done. It looks kind of crazy when you're doing it, but if you're working backwards in gentle motions going against the hair, it actually looks really natural and really beautiful when you comb it back. So if you ever see me do this in the video, now you know why. And then up. And then I'll show you what it looks like brushed out. So I guess I forgot to tell you another product I use. I use a spoolie brush as well. So you can get these at Walmart, you can get them at your local drugstore, and you can even get a package of disposable ones on Amazon, and they're there like the next day, and they're actually quite affordable. So they'll look like this. We'll see if I can get it to focus. There we go, spoolie brush. And this is what I use. I'll let it focus again. To brush my hairs back into place. And there you can see underneath, it's a very gentle, filled in eyebrow now. And I'm just brushing those hairs back. So now once again, I'm going to take that eyebrow pencil and I'm just going to do the feather-like upward strokes from where my hair starts. And I'm just going to go upwards all through the brow. And you can take this as intense as you want, but because I'm a blonde, I tend to try to stay as feather light as possible at the front so I don't look so obvious. If you have naturally dark brows, you could probably go a little bit harder than I'm going right now. Keep your motions short and feather light, and release the pressure towards the end so that it creates the look of a hair. Okay, and when you get to the tail here, this is where I go like this with shorter to mimic the look of a hair. Remember how I said we don't go past here? I've got a bit of space to work with here because my natural brows actually stop growing right there. So I can bring it down further if I wish. Okay, and in between, go back in with that spoolie brush and brush everything through. And if you have any spots where you feel as though you went a little rough with your pencil and there's a little bit more color deposited there, take your spoolie and just kind of work it upwards and feather it out with your spoolie brush. Once again, go in with your eyebrow pencil, starting with upward motions right here to mimic the hairs, the way the hair grows on your eyebrow. And in the middle of your eyebrow, you'll notice that they tend to grow. Let it focus again. My apologies, it wants to focus on the pencil, not my eye. You'll notice that your hair tends to start to grow sideways right here, so you can switch your motion going from straight up and down at the beginning, or on a slant rather, to going to more of a gentle horizontal right here. And then once you reach that point, again, longer but still gentle. And I would have a word of caution. I have seen people bring their eyebrows in like a semicircle, like this. And when you ever, when you have a line that ends, it will draw attention back to whatever it's pointing at. So if you're bringing your eyebrows down and around, it's going to create this look of a half moon around your eye. And instead of elongating your eye and lifting your eye, it's going to bring it back in, and it's actually going to aid you and create the look of a stunted eye area. So what I would do is make sure your tail doesn't wrap around on you. So keep it out, flicking that way. Now I'll do it with the pencil for real. So making sure that your tail isn't wrapping in. Follow that pattern that you've set out and just fill it in a little bit more. I do have another favorite pencil. It's called the Urban Decay Brow Blade, and it actually has the pencil on the one end and then a fine tip. It's like a fine tip marker on the other, and it is beautiful for drawing in these hairs on the tail that look really realistic. But you can achieve the same look with a pencil as well if you're really patient and gentle with your motions here. All right, use the spoolie again and soften those edges of all the little tiny little hairs that you've created with your pencil. And this is where I'm going to stop, and I'm going to apply the gel. So I'm going to take the eyebrow gel and I'm going to work it through my eyebrow, starting at the root all the way to the tip, and I'm going to go upwards first and then out, and then repeat that upwards, and then starting to go on an angle towards the back and then out. If your gel is a particularly wet gel, I would let it sit for a while before you continued with any other face products. And then once your gel is set, should be safe to carry on if you. All right, so that's all there is to the beginner-friendly brows. All you need is an eyebrow pencil, spoolie brush, and eyebrow gel, and you're good to go. And I hope this video was informative and you've got some extra tips and tricks to add to your makeup arsenal. And I hope you have the best brow day ever. If this was helpful or you enjoyed this in any way, I'd love it if you'd give us a thumbs up and even share or subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to see that. Thank you so much for watching.